So, back to our scheme. Where are we? How does this scheme work? Well, we have governments, corporations, science and technology. What do? They fund science and technology. And what do? We elect people in government and we buy from corporations. So actually in this scheme we have quite an important role to play. But often we don't want to see it. Why? Because it's responsibility, right? Okay, so I'll go quickly towards what we can really do. Like I said, I only have a short amount of time. Basically, what can we do? There's two ways. There's an indirect way and there's a direct way. Indirect way is talk about this subject. You guys, all in this room, you probably know more than 99% of the people on this planet about climate change. Certainly after the two presentations of the two gentlemen before me. Talk about this. Talk with your family. Talk with your friends. Talk with your colleagues. Talk about how serious this problem is and how urgently we need to tackle this and what we can really do to make a difference. Talk about this. Make your voice heard. Make your voice heard in whatever way that you can do best. And of course, ultimately, we have had elections just in October, and we're having very important elections in May. If you want political actions, make your voice heard on a political level, okay? When you go into that voting booth. If you want climate change to be the top priority of your politicians, you have to make it your top priority. Not before that, you will find the politicians that act for you. Now, we are talking about changing, and the society needs to change, and everybody needs to change, and you need to change, and you. And that's all very nice, but it's very difficult to say that if you don't lead by example. You will sound very hypocritical very quickly. But of course, we need priorities. Once again, otherwise you go mad. How can we reduce our impact as an average person in a Western country? Right? First up is, if that's still a possibility for you, think about how many children you want to be putting on this planet. Right? This is population growth. Take a very close look at this graph. You see they cut it in two because the first one is so high. This is by far the biggest impact on your personal carbon footprint that you will ever have. Secondly, can you do without a car? There's been many examples that we've talked about commons. If you live today in city centers, you have folding bikes, you have electrical bikes, you have public transport, you have car sharing projects. If you can live your life without a car, this is the second major thing that you can do to reduce your own carbon footprint. Thirdly, flying. Flying is hugely polluting, certainly when we're talking about climate change. I'll give you an example. This example was also given on television by us yesterday. If you eat vegan for 2 years, or you find the courage to leave your car completely behind for 1 year, and then you take one holiday trip to Thailand, you have completely annihilated any savings that you have done on your carbon footprint. These are the numbers, 3.5 tons, something around those lines, okay? So try to maximally reduce the amount of flying that you need to do. If you can, quit it altogether. At fourth place is renewable energy sources and your electrical car. Only at fourth place, huh? Remember this. And fifth place is your diet and the amount of meat that you are eating. So this is an average for an average person in the West. Of course, your personal carbon footprint, the priorities can differ a little bit from person to person. Okay, I almost want to end, and I want to end with a quote from originally English writer Robert Boltz. Stephen Colbert also used this one. There is no secret society out there that will tap you on the shoulder one day and show you the way. Society has no more idea of what you are than you do, because ultimately it only has your brains to think with. Every generation must define itself and so make the world that suits itself. And from us, we are by far the richest and the best educated generation that ever lived on this planet. We can and we must change the society that we are living in today. So let's start, and let's start now. I would like to ask you, before we go into the debate, you probably have 1 to 3 minutes, really think about how you are going to reduce your own carbon footprint from now on, and what you can do to contribute to trying to reducing the global amounts of greenhouse gases in the world. I thank you very much.